My name is Scott Forcino. Good afternoon. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty and the founder of PlugIntro, where agents become local famous and we all meet who we should know. Today I have with me my friend Ryan, who's an industry pro, well-respected, well-regarded, has a lot of great opinions, and I want to hear about Ryan and his market and his company and his professional services. Good afternoon, Ryan. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me in.
Tell us about you. Tell us about your week and yourself, your company, your background, your experience, please.
Oh, man, kind of where to start. Let's see. So I'm about 20 years in the real estate industry. Started off on the mortgage side, and I was a crazy one who, during the recession, made the switch from mortgage into getting my license and doing real estate. My segue was kind of doing some real estate for an oil and gas company, but ended up getting my real estate license and plugged into, no pun intended there, plugged into the actual real estate ecosystem, the world, the industry. I'm kind of one that just doesn't dip my toe in. I jump all the way in. And so when I got into real estate as a realtor, I decided to just get really involved. So I love the industry and I've studied it, all of the different aspects of it, especially coming from the mortgage side. I understood the economic ramifications and some of the things that goes on that side of the industry, how that affects what we do as real estate agents and helping consumers buy and sell and invest in real estate. And just through that time, I really found a love for teaching and training and mentoring real estate agents and speaking about some of the larger implications of the industry as a whole. And that, kind of led to opportunities inside of offices to be director of training, doing some of that kind of stuff. Got involved in the associations and working with committees, and I've chaired committees from local to state to national level, and I've stood on stages, at NAR conference, Inman conferences, you name it. I've had the honor of speaking and sharing some of the things that I've learned, and like you said, some of my opinions, some of the things that trends and issues that go around in the industry. And so most recently I have got in with AskDOSS. So I joined the DOS team back in August of last year, came on as their VP of agent development and training, and do a lot more than just that. We're multiple hats. We're a startup and a technology company at heart with a brokerage attached to the technology company. I'm sure we'll dig into some of that, but really we're looking to make homeownership more affordable, make it easier for the consumer, not just to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, but to own home, their home ownership experience being more affordable. So we're doing some things other than just being a transactional real estate company through the technology that we're developing. We're right at the end of signing paperwork and accepting our seed round, about $5.5 million. And we'll be working on our A round. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll have our A round wrapped up. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of great things really working from the technology standpoint. We're a voice assistant real estate marketplace and ecosystem. And wow, so what that means
that sounds important, but what does that mean?
Yeah. So what that means is we've got think of Siri and Alexa and Google Home all wrapped into one, but 10 times smarter, right? You ever talk to Alexa and she didn't really understand what you say? Mm-hmm. Our voice assistant actually understands what you say, and more than it being about specific keywords within the speech, we have artificial intelligence as well as machine learning that will work with understanding exactly what it is that the person who's talking to DOS is really, in fact, looking for, not just specifically looking for keywords. We use the artificial intelligence and machine learning to give that experience to the consumer in a completely different way.
So that's what you mean. I know that DOS is considered a Google related. I mean, tell me the relationship with Google and your firm.
Yeah, so DOS has been accepted into the Google Starters or Google Founders Startup Accelerator. So we're actually in our second accelerator with Google. So Bobby Bryant, our CEO and co-founder, got accepted into the Black Founders Academy with Google. And through all of that, we learned a lot, had direct access to all of Google's engineers. We used all of Google's workspace for our agents and for our development. And through that, Google made the decision to invest in DOS. So we are the only Google-backed practicing real estate brokerage in the country that Google has ever invested in. There is a real estate company, online company that Google invested in many years back, but we're the only practicing brokerage and real estate search engine that Google has ever chosen to back. So that, for obvious reasons, is huge for what we're trying to build from a technology standpoint, but even from a brokerage standpoint, for our agents to know that from a technological perspective, we've got, one of the biggest and best technology companies in the world in our back pocket.
Sure. Now, is the main function, or I should say the main purpose of that function for search, or is it doesn't do anything more for search, or any more making offers, so to speak? Does it replace any of the agents or help the agent anyway?
Yeah, so nothing that we're doing is to replace the agents. As a matter of fact, everything that we're doing is consumer first, really. And instead of our agents being our clients, as many brokers see their agents, our agents are our partners in their relationship with the consumer. So yeah, as a technology company, first and foremost is our search. And the difference in some of the things that we're doing with search, obviously it being voice activated and you being able to speak with DOS. We use image recognition, multiple data sets to give the consumer the search experience as if they were using Google, right? So a lot of search engines out there for real estate, if you wanted to specifically look at homes that only had white cabinets in the kitchen, right? There's nobody out there that really has that as an offering for the regular everyday consumer. With our image recognition software built into the artificial intelligence and machine learning, a consumer can pick up their phone and ask DOS to show them homes that are priced between $400,000 and $500,000 on a cul-de-sac, 15 minutes from a coffee shop. Oh, and I want white cabinets in the kitchen.
Wow.
And the results will show that. So obviously this is multiple things coming together all at once, because we have to parse MLS and IDX data along with other data sources that we're using, as well as image recognition, to make sure that when we're pulling properties that exist on a cul-de-sac, match that with MLS data, and then take a look at the pictures before we present those search results to the consumer to make sure that they are actually getting properties that have white cabinets in the kitchen. So it's quite amazing. And yes, a lot of that wouldn't have necessarily been possible without the help of Google and their engineers and the accelerator program that we've been through. So it's really cool to see this all come together. DOS was technically started in 2017, 2018. And initially, the idea was just to have it as a technology company and use it as a search engine. And it's evolved into a lot of other things since then. And obviously, we now have the brokerage so that our agents get the benefit of the technology, as opposed to the company just being a referral search engine, such as Zillow or many of the others that are out there.
Interesting, because in Zillow, the star of the show is the property, and in DOS, it seems it's the function, where it's really the real estate agents and the brokerage are the worker bees to the AI. Am I right? That's kind of
you can say it that way. Yeah, and the other piece of the puzzle for us is not just the transactional aspect of it. We are in the process of launching our home services, DOS Home Services Network. And so think of an Angie's List or a Home Advisor that was part of your favorite real estate search engine. So a consumer, again, with our DOS app, is able to go in and talk to DOS and say, I've got a leak in my kitchen sink. I need a plumber to give me an estimate on how much it'll be to fix that and how they could fix that. We're building our home services network, in which we've got our preferred plumber in that zip code, 3 of them that will get that request for an estimate. And along with that, they're continuing to use the app in connection with their agent. So say at the end of this period of time in between, right? In between the time that they buy it and decide to sell the house, they fix some of the plumbing, put a new roof on, put flooring in the house, maybe a new water heater, and they use DOSS Home Service Network to do all of that. They will be able to take all of those invoices, transferable warranties that might come with any of that information, and file that away in their user file cabinet. And so when it comes time for them to sell their house, they can go into DOSS and say, hey, DOSS, send my file cabinet to Ryan, my agent, so that he has all of this information on the work that we've done on the house since we bought it. So the idea here is, we have about 6 million transactions that occur in real estate every year. But the home services industry, something that a real estate agent doesn't typically get to take advantage of. Sure, we teach real estate agents to be a resource and to have some of those relationships set up so that if a consumer reaches out and says, hey, Ryan, do you know a plumber? Yeah, I know a plumber. But the real estate agent doesn't really get to take full advantage of being a part of that ecosystem and leveraging that to maintain the relationship during the in-between.
Mm-hmm.
We know that 85% of clients find a different realtor to use in their second or third, transactions after they said, yes, I'd love to use, I would use my previous guy. Only about 25 to 15% of people actually use the same real estate agent. And a big part of that is because they just lose relationship during that in-between time. And so one of the things that we're leveraging as a company is our agents will know when these are these requests and the work is being done on homes of consumers that they helped buy or sell a property. It really just gives them an extra advantage to maintaining that in-between relationship with the consumer.
Well, I mean, so the consumer benefits, because if a buyer wants to know the work that was done on a home, I can tell you that sellers don't keep anything and they never offer it. They don't even want you to know that they had to repair this or how to repair that. So the seller's not going to give to you. The listing agent has no clue, nor has an interest in handing it over because there's no obligation. Let's think of it this way: the buyer would have a built-in service provider that already knows the property and been there, versus starting from scratch. I know, listen, I bought a house and I did everything, which I would never do again. But I just had a whole slew of repairs from water damage. And, I would never connect them with the next buyer or anything. It happened. It's in the past. I mean, that's that. There's no record. It's interesting.
Yeah. So some of that is still yet to come, but that is the roadmap that we have laid out for the technology, at least. So we're currently launching the Home Services Network, to where we are now interviewing and vetting service providers. And hopefully by the end of the year, we will have the full functionality in DOSS for the consumer to say, I want that plumber, and that will work. So there's a lot of fun things that are coming down the line from a technological standpoint. They just take time and money. And so, our fundraising is going to be a big piece of us rolling all of this out to the consumer. But the app is live. You can go in and use it to search. We're in Houston, Dallas, Austin, and Raleigh, North Carolina right now. So it's a lot of fun to start seeing this come to fruition.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, PlugIntro is this firm that I founded is really came to, let me say it this way: it's trust-based and community-based. And I've been recently realized that Web 3.0 is community and trust. And it's interesting. I mean, I use your example very often, where I say that all the venture capital and all the technology, which is what your firm and you are about now, is attacking trust. You're attempting to bring the consumer to someone who's been vetted, yes, but there's not where you would say to your neighbor, do you have a dentist for my child? It's not that. So really, PlugIntro is the last place where trust between colleagues or local contemporaries is afforded. Now, As much as this direct model is dynamite for service providers, where it really is more transactional, PlugIntro put together a system where Ryan is promoting his firm to his local contacts, his clients, and his local business owners, industry colleagues, etc. And by filming these videos about himself, he's selecting those people that he would like to see and learn more about the company. But he's also offering the local business community, whether it's trades or the medical profession or the legal profession or the financial sector, a chance to promote their business. It's invitation only and it's trust based. If I was in your greater Houston, right? If I was in the greater Houston area, I would just, without any AI, without anything, just refer Ryan because I know him and I trust his judgment and his professional approach. So that's something that we're still on Earth. We still bleed red. No technology is going to ever make trust. There's a way to connect people, yes, with the right service provider. And listen, last week I had a family party here, and our home services, the house cleaners said, we can't come. And trust me, I needed them to come before family saw this place in the last month. And I was searching Google like crazy, just pressing every button and leaving. Finally, the phone exploded, and I got someone here. But without a Google search and without the AI, I would have been making excuses instead of making dinner. So, of course, we need that. But there's something where, trust is under attack. Look at the Super Bowl commercial, where Rocket Mortgage, 30 seconds, go to press a few buttons on your app and you get $500,000. And I mean, I know that that's not something that most listing agents would stake their client's sale on, something that hasn't even been underwritten. But I think we're still in the early stages of that. Give Rocket a few years when they've gotten the AI down and there's more acceptance. Ryan's company's on DOS is on the leading edge of this implementation of this type of technology. And that's fantastic, because more than anything else, Ryan, that's what people want, right? They don't want to be sold. They want access. Am I right? I mean, speak to that. How do the clients receive it?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the, that's really one of the innovations that we've considered here. And we're looking at is the ease of access to information, right? Look, the reason that companies like Zillow exist in the real estate industry is a long time ago, real estate gave the consumer the middle finger and said, we're holding all of the information as close to our heart as possible. And if you want any of it, you've got to make a commitment to me first. Zillow came along and said, hey, you know what? We're going to try to give you as much information as we can. It may not all be fully correct, right? And accurate, but we're willing to open up our books. We're willing to open up and kind of show you as much as we can that's behind the curtain. The consumer loved the idea, right? And in droves, Zillow collected the eyeballs, which is the all-important thing when it comes to search, right? And became what they became because they said, we're willing to give information instead of holding it back. Consumers want easy access to information. Some of our younger generations that are coming up as buyers and sellers, not only information, but control. They want to take that information. They want to be informed and educated, and they want to have a little bit more control. They want to feel a little bit more involved in, what they're partaking in. And so a few of the things that we've decided to do is give people options. So we don't have a one size fits all approach. Our machine learning is a big part of that. If a consumer wants to search in a couple of different ways, all they have to do is talk to the app and tell the app how it is that they want to search. If they only want an alert once a week, then they talk to the app and tell the app, just alert me once a week. They don't have a real estate agent blowing up their phone or receiving a text message every day or, whatever it is, because, there's some anxiety from the back end of that. So we have the ability, because of the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the technology, to take what we know from a human standpoint, implement it into the technology to give the consumer the opportunity to create their own experience, right? I've always said, as a speaker and as somebody who's been involved in the technology side of real estate, technology is not what impresses the consumer. at all. It's the experience that we create as practitioners or as service providers. It's the experience that we create for the consumer with the use of technology or through the use of technology that really impresses them in the long run, right? So if we can figure out a real way to let the consumer kind of dictate what that experience looks like for them, while we get the information that we need to make sure that the service that we're about to provide is top notch and gives them exactly what they want, then why wouldn't we want to make sure that we're able to put something like that together, right? So our agents are taught how to use the app, taught how to use the information, and they're taught how to speak to their clients to make sure that their clients understand exactly what I'm saying here, is that this is an experience that's for you. It's not for me. I'm not the center of this thing. You are. And so everything that we're building and creating that is part of this is wrapped around you. We are here to serve you. So how can we serve you, right?
So it's really, to me, it sounds like a two-part process where a lot of the ease and convenience in the facility for the consumers there. However, at one point, they have to have someone showing them properties, negotiating on their behalf, and basically accepting terms or drafting terms favorable to the client. And even then, shepherding them through the closing process, where they are getting ready for their loan or if their title work or their insurance work. So that doesn't change, correct? That's really still the same old-fashioned process.
Yeah, and we're bringing a lot of those guys under the same roof, right? So we have DOSS Home Loans. We will at one point have DOSS Title. We've got DOSS Home Warranty. It is offered. Obviously there's no push that you have to use DOSS Home Loans if you're using a DOSS real estate agent, or if you're using the app. We can find you another home warranty company. As a matter of fact, here's a couple of options that aren't DOSS Home Warranty. Compare them to what we have. Make a good decision that works for you. That's kind of the precipice behind this. Is the information and the data is all going to be wrapped inside of the technology, right? It's up to the consumer to be able to go in and just say, hey, I want more information about this. Hey, I want to know what the difference is between an FHA and a VA, and which might be a better choice for me. And leveraging all of that wrapped around, again, like you said, it's that personalized service, right? Now we're making a really strong stand about the type of data that we actually collect and keep. We're not going to sell any of it, but obviously the data that's necessary for us to provide a really good service to the consumer is going to be made available with the permission of the consumer, right? So if somebody goes into the app and starts searching that information that they're looking for, and then they say, hey, DOSS, I'm ready to start looking at houses. Can you get me an agent, right? I want to talk to a DOSS agent. The consumer will have to go through multiple steps to say, yes, everything that I've searched or everything that I've got put in here, go ahead and send that to the agent, that you're sending me. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen on the back end that's going to allow real estate agents to take a look and say, hey, I realize the price range this person is searching in. It seems as though that most of their searches say somewhere close to a dog park, or somewhere close to a coffee shop, or somewhere close to, synagogue even, right? And then the agent has a responsibility to make the decision on how they serve that client based on the information that is provided. The cool thing about that is, and exactly what you said, is that we bring all of the different pieces that most consumers don't know or know because they've decided to become educated. But we're bringing all of those pieces to the forefront for them, and we're just laying it on the table and saying, here's the information. Here it is. We're here to help you make a decision. Ask me the questions, and that is the foundation of DOSS itself, is ask me a question, talk to me, right? Whereas I think for a long time, real estate as a whole and as an industry, and this may be where we kind of get into maybe some provocative opinions of mine, the industry itself has felt like it's the center of everything for so long. Mm-hmm. The real estate dictate a lot of it, right?
It used to be, the evolution was first all the agents. When I was in law school, my mom was an agent. So I first heard of this stuff where okay, people go in the office to learn what's available. Then I guess the cell phone was first. Then no, maybe the email was first. Then you could email the agent at home and learn more. Then the cell phone, then they could be on vacation, and then texting and so on. Then become the syndicators in the mid 2000s. Now they can go around the agent, and then it really is a cycle where it was a brick building where the information was stored. And now it's ubiquitous. Now it's all over your phone. It's all over your life. But listen, Ryan, I learned a lot. I acknowledge I've been listening to you, but I've tried to gain as much insight before this interview today. There's so much, I'm sure, to be said, how technology matches up with the actual process that, I'm really proud that Ryan is going to share with us his insight and his information and his progress in this year-long interview series. So we are here to learn more and more and get some success stories, and there are probably some failures that we want to hear about them too. That's how we learn. So Ryan, how do we reach you, please? And we want to get deeper into this topic.
Yeah, sure. I am Ryan Bokros all over social media. It's pretty much the same on any platform that's out there. So feel free to take a look at any social media platform. Hit me up. My cell phone is 832-797-8486. Feel free to shoot me a text. My email is my name, ryan.bokros@dosspros.com. And feel free to check out the website, AskDOSS.com. And you can find the app in the Apple, the App Store, and the Google Play Store. So the app is live, and feel free to download it and play around with it.
I'm happy you came, Ryan. This is a good example of where technology meets Main Street. And I think this is clearly the wave of the future, where I've been around a long time, but I didn't realize how far it's come. And I
think we still have a long way to go with some of it as well. But look, here's the thing is if we don't follow the consumer's direction as far as it comes with, the technology and the services that we offer as an industry, if we don't follow their lead, then we're telling them that we're in charge and that we're leading we're leading the case. And again, for the longest time, that's been the mindset of the real estate industry, and we've got to go the other direction.
Yeah. Well, you're riding the information tsunami. That's where we are. If you don't get on top, you're going to get run over by it.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. We'll chat. We'll have another one soon, and we'll just get ready for your monthly meeting as soon as we can.
All right.
Thank you.
Stuff. Thanks, Scott.
My pleasure.